Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Customs speaks with stakeholders on the workings of Nigerian Customs Service in Kano. Also on customs support, Customs Command in trade-free zone in the country continue to generate more revenue for the country. Plus, more report. I am Egeseme Engineer, Statesman. The Customs has reaffirmed commitment to the trade facilitation in Kano Zone. The Controller General of Customs said that customs will also operate according to the laid down rules as approved by government. He has stakeholders to be more helpful in customs policies in the country.
The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has reiterated its unwavering commitment to trade facilitation anchored on strict regulatory compliance as the Comptroller General of Customs (CGC) Adewale Adeniyi engaged officers and key stakeholders during his official working visits to the Kano Jigawa Area Command. Speaking at a stakeholders' engagement held in Kano on Thursday, 19 December 2025, the Comptroller General stressed that sustainable trade facilitation can only be achieved within a framework of transparency, integrity, and full adherence to customs laws and procedures.
But this is a defining moment for all of us because at the stage that we have reached now in our dialogue, in our consultations, we felt that it's important for us to reinforce and maintain the momentum so that we will never get back to where we were before, where there was so much of misunderstanding. People really didn't understand what customs stands for when we talked about trade facilitation. I will just reiterate the fact that we will recommit ourselves to the principle of trade facilitation, provided that there is compliance that goes with it. For us, the basic thing is compliance. Once there is compliance, we are open to any ideas on what we can do to facilitate trade. Let me react to some of the issues that have been raised. First, let me express sincere gratitude for the kind words that I've heard across the room since we started in terms of what has changed for better in our system. We really appreciate it. But we must also take on board some of those challenges that you have talked about so that we will not only be a responsive administration, but then we will deepen our collaboration and make it more result-oriented. There are 4 or 5 clear areas where what I heard, some of them are repeated. The first is on the issue of 4% FOB, and I think this requires some kind of clarification. I do know that there are some people who might be hell-bent in creating deliberate misunderstanding. I saw in the paper yesterday that says customs disobeyed Minister of Finance or something like that. The letter, the correspondence that people saw and they are claiming was not an industry circular. It was an internal memo written from the Minister to the Comptroller General. And the content of that used the word suspend. But that document did not say why we suspend, what do we do. 4% FOB is a funding mechanism for the customs. That's what we use to pay salaries, that's what we use to do our operations and things like that. So if that letter says suspend it, and during the period of suspension, please go to Kasima. Anything that you process in Kano, let Kasima pay for the operational charges so that we can pay the salaries of officers in Kano. We will say there was a suspension order, and in the place of the suspension, this is what we do. So I invite you to read that letter again. There was no mention of when you suspend, this is what you do. That's number one. And nature naturally abhors vacuum. 2, the letter says continue with your engagements with the stakeholders, with private sector. And the major private sector group that we have that time was the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. And we sat with them, and we clearly identified 3 areas that will require exemption from FOB. Importations of machineries, importation of raw materials, importation of spare parts. And these are things that are clearly scheduled in different parts of our tariff. And those who enjoy duty-free concessions under it are already clearly stated. They are bona fide manufacturers, those who enjoy the concessions in Chapter 98 and 99 of our tariff. So it is not enough for somebody to just describe himself as a manufacturer. You must be registered with MAN, and this is why they are there, to register you. And you know the reason. You know the reason why. It is MAN who knows your process. They know what you had together to come up with the final product. Is raw material may be my finished product. What you put together, your own raw material, might actually be my final product, finished product. What is the best example? Okay, let me use an example that Kano people may not be familiar with. You know cocktail that is served, there are actually some non-alcoholic cocktail. And then they put things together, and then you find it up, and then it becomes a cocktail. Some may be alcoholic, some may be non-alcoholic. Now we have people who are now putting that in bottles. Each and everything that they put together, they are the ingredients, they are finished products of some other people. They had soda, if they had lime, they are finished products of some other people. But they put them together and they manufacture one thing. So that process of manufacturing is regulated by a recognized group of government, which is the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. So some are already onboarded, they have their lists, and they import their things without payment of 4%. But some are not yet onboarded. So if your company belongs to those who are not yet registered by MAN, you find that very strange, then we will encourage you to go to MAN, then they register you, and then you can have a discussion on whether what you have paid can be credited. That was the word used by Alhaji Bashir. Whether we can now credit what you have paid, because we're working out an arrangement in which those who are eligible but are paid can find a way of using it as a duty credit for them.
Addressing officers of the command, Adeniyi charged them to uphold discipline, professionalism, and dedication in the discharge of their duties, noting that the credibility and effectiveness of the service are directly tied to the conduct of its personnel.
The Nigerian Customs Service have seized 20 diverted containers worth over 769.5 million naira across Kano and Jigawa areas.
The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has intercepted 20 diverted transit containers with a total duty paid value of 769.53 million naira across the Kano-Jigawa axis in intelligence-led operations aimed at curbing cargo diversion and protecting government revenue. The CGC of Custom, Wale Adeniyi, described cargo diversion as a serious economic crime that threatens national revenue, compromises security, and undermines Nigeria's credibility in the global trade arena. He warned that the service will deploy all lawful measures to detect, deter, and punish offenders, adding that there would be no heaven for economic saboteurs.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
Deputy Comptroller of Customs Moses Adewale on Monday described his appointment as a Customs Area Comptroller CAC or your Osun Command as a call to higher service and pledged a total commitment to professionalism, integrity, discipline, and teamwork towards advancing the mandate of the Nigerian Customs Service.
Before you today, as acting area controller of Oyo Osun Area Command, I am deeply grateful to the Controller General of Nigeria Customs, D.A. Adeniyi, Dr. Bashir Adeniyi, MFR, FNIPR, PSC Daga, and the entire management with entire management team for finding me of this appointment, for entrusting me with this mandate to lead this command at its crucial moment. Let me begin with sincerely appreciating the outgoing area controller Gambo Iyere Aliyu, for his exemplary leadership, dedication, and remarkable contribution to the growth of this Oyo Osun Command under his stewardship.
The acting comptroller made the observation during a seamless leadership transition as he took over the mantle of leadership from his predecessor, Comptroller Gambo Iyere Aliyu, who is now effectively redeployed to the Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone A, Lagos.
My stint as the Custom Area Controller of Oyo Osun Command has been marked by collaboration, service, purposeful engagement towards strengthening the mandate of the Nigerian Customs Service. On assumption of duty, I made it a priority to strengthen the command's relationship with our strategic stakeholders. I am proud to say that under my leadership, the command deepened meaningful engagements with critical sectors across Oyo and Osun states. We maintained a cordial and productive interface with the government and good people of Oyo State, whose invaluable support and cooperation greatly enhanced our operations. Our partnership with sister security agencies, especially the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, the Department of State Services, Nigerian Immigration Service, NDLA, NSCDC, EFCC, ICPC, Nigerian Correctional Service, among others, remained strong, and together we executed coordinated responses to security and enforcement challenges within the command's area of responsibility.
He commended Comptroller Gambo Aliyu for his exemplary leadership and notable achievements in revenue generation, anti-smuggling operations, and stakeholder engagement.
The Lagos Free Trade Zone has made steady improvement and also revenue generation in the last couple of months. The controller made a comment while speaking with stakeholders alongside with Nigerian Customs Service officers at the end of the year party in Victoria Island.
The Nigerian Customs Service Lagos Free Trade Zone Command recorded notable operational and revenue achievements in 2025, with the Customs Area Comptroller, Comptroller Hawa Abubakar, commending officers, men, and key stakeholders for their dedication and support. She gave the commendation on Thursday, 18 December 2025, during the command's end-of-year celebration, where she described 2025 as a productive and fulfilling year for the LFTZ Command.
January to November 2025, the Lagos Free Zone Command has generated the sum of 661 billion 545 million 608,365 naira. A round of applause for us, please. Yeah, we are trying. A significant improvement over the previous year. The achievement reflects enhanced compliance level, improved operational efficiency, and strengthened collaboration with free zones operator and Lekki Port stakeholders. We remain confident by the end of 2025, the command will surpass with 100% double the revenue of the recorded in 2024. Beyond revenue, the command has recorded notable achievements in stakeholder engagement, interagency collaboration, and community relations. We have sustained cordial working relationship with traditional rulers and our host community, whose support has ensured a peace and enabling operation environment. Our collaboration with sister agencies within the free zones and Lekki ports has further strengthened security, compliance, and seamless trade operation. The command will continue to prioritize officers' welfare, capacity building, and professionalism, while strengthening compliance, innovation, and service delivery across the free zone and Lekki port. As we celebrate tonight, I encourage everyone to relax, enjoy the moment, and strengthen the bond of unity that define us as a command and partner. On behalf of officers and men of the Lagos Free Zone Command, I thank you all for your support and commitment throughout the year. I wish you journey mercies to your various destinations and a peaceful, prosperous, and fulfilling new year in advance.
The Customs Area Comptroller expressed gratitude to God for his guidance throughout the year, noting that the command's successes were anchored on teamwork, discipline, and professionalism.
I give God all the glory and appreciation for his grace, protection, wisdom, and mercy throughout the year 2025. God has been faithful to us as a command, and for this we remain deeply grateful. The year 2025 has been a remarkable one for the Lagos Free Trade Zone Command. Through collective efforts, discipline, and professionalism, the command has continued to strengthen its position as one of the most strategic and high-performing commands in the Nigerian Customs Service. Our achievements are a direct reflection of effective leadership, committed officers, and productive partnership with stakeholders. I sincerely commend the officers and men of the command for their dedication, resilience, and unwavering commitment to duty. Your professionalism in revenue generation, trade facilitation, compliance monitoring, and stakeholder engagement has greatly enhanced the image and performance of the command.
The acting controller of customs in charge of Idiroko Ogun 1 Command has urged traders in the zone to continue to work according to the laid down rules. He was speaking in Idiroko, where he displayed some seized items from smugglers operating along the nation's borderline.
The Nigerian Customs Service NCS Ogun 1 Area Command has disrupted major smuggling networks operating along the border corridors in Ogun State, leading to the interception of contraband goods valued at over 2 billion naira. The acting Customs Area Comptroller, Deputy Comptroller of Customs Oladapo Afeni, disclosed this during his maiden press briefing in Idiroko. Afeni attributed the success to intensified intelligence-led operations, improved surveillance, and strengthened collaboration with sister security agencies and community stakeholders.
In line with interagency synergy and national protocol, we shall, in the course of this briefing, formally hand over the seized crystal melt, heroin, and cannabis sativa to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Idiroko Special Command, for further necessary actions. This goes beyond enforcement. It underscores collaboration between agencies for public safety, and national security. I reaffirm our unwavering resolve to sustain this momentum. Smugglers and their collaborators are hereby warned to stay clear of Ogun 1 Command. We remain vigilant, alert, and ready to confront any threat to economic and security interests of our nation. The NCS Ogun 1 Command under my leadership will continue to act with integrity, courage, and professionalism, guided by our mandate and committed to national development.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Tinkan Island Customs Command has continued to make so much improvement in the generation of revenue in the country. The command also surpassed its revenue target for 2025.
The Tinkan Island Port Command of the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has exceeded its 2025 revenue target, collecting 1.56 trillion naira as of 23rd December 2025, surpassing the benchmark by 51.8 billion naira. Comptroller Frank Onyeka announced the achievements during a media briefing in Lagos on 23rd December, noting 8 days remains for potential additional inflows and praising the results as evidence of operational excellence and stakeholder partnership.
I'm pleased to inform you that as at the time of this report, the command has generated a total revenue of 1,569 billion plus. This means we have exceeded our revenue target for the year by 55.83 billion naira. A milestone that reflects discipline, professionalism, unwavering commitment to duty. Right? This growth did not only come by chance, it is the outcome of deliberate reforms, improved processes, and collective responsibility. Furthermore, our major contributors remain bulk cargo, general merchandise, and importation of used vehicles, which constitute a significant volume of trade passing through Tinkan Island Port. Through improved valuation, diligent cargo examination, and strict adherence to custom procedures, the command ensured that government revenue due to these imports were fully and promptly collected. One of our key focus areas in 2025 was elimination of revenue leakages and operational inefficiencies. We deliberately addressed the issue of multiple and unnecessary alerts, which had previously slowed down clearance processes and created room for abuse. By streamlining alerts and strengthening internal coordination, we provided efficiency while maintaining effective control. We also made conscious efforts to create an enabling environment for legitimate trade. Trade facilitation and revenue generation are not mutually exclusive when processes are transparent and predictable. Compliance naturally improves. To this end, the command sustained regular and meaningful engagement with stakeholders, including importers, licensed custom agents, terminal operators, and shipping companies, to resolve challenges, clarify policies, and build trust. Beyond revenue collection, the command remained firm on its enforcement mandate through intelligence-led operations and vigilant monitoring. We recorded signal seizures of prohibited items and improperly declared goods. These items contravene existing laws and regulations of the nation. Let me state unequivocally that the attainment of our annual revenue target does not in any way signify relaxation of our operational standards or enforcement activities. The command will not ease its vigilance even for the remaining part of the year. All officers and men of the command remain fully mobilized and operationally focused to sustain revenue generation intensify compliance, and ensure that every legitimate kobo due to the federal government of Nigeria is assessed, collected, and accounted for without exceptions or compromise. I wish to place on record my very deep appreciation to the Controller General of Customs, Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR PSC Daga, for his exemplary leadership, clear strategic direction, and consistent institutional support for the field commands. His unwavering commitment to professionalism, automation, accountability, transparency, and constructive stakeholder engagements has provided the solid policy and operational framework upon which the achievement of this command has been built. The Think Island Pond Command remains firmly guided by its vision and resolutely aligned with the Nigerian Customs Service reform and modernization agenda. In the same vein, I also commend our stakeholders for their cooperation and improved compliance with custom procedures and processes. I also extend my profound appreciation to officers and men of Nigeria Customs Service, Tinkan Island Port, for their discipline and hard work, which they continued to demonstrate in the discharge of their duties. As we move forward, the command remains steadfast in its commitment to consolidating these gains, deepening transparency, decisively blocking leakages, strengthening enforcement mechanisms, and contributing effectively to the realization of the federal government's border economic and fiscal objectives.
Key contributors included bulk cargo, general merchandise, and used vehicles, bolstered by the B. Odogu Trade Modernization System, streamlined alert resolution, and heightened importer compliance. Onyeka credited to building trader confidence, diverted more cargo traffic to Tinkan Island ports, and driving revenue growth amid the command's dual focus on facilitation and enforcement.
Just before this week's edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Tinkan Customs Command surpasses revenue for 2025. For me, Egeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.